Good evening, बच्चों. So today onwards, I'm starting a new series of explaining you the chapters from your 12th class NCIT book. So we are first starting the Flamingo chapters. So today I'm going to give you all the important information from your first chapter, whose name is the last lesson. See, children, I'm going to teach you all the chapters on the basis of NCRT English question paper blueprint. I'll actually explain you all the important aspect. So many questions are asked from intertextuality on different literary movements, literary criticism, different context, different uh, deeper analysis. So basically, the from questions from your 12th NCRT books are based on thoroughly, altogetherly on the analysis, on the deeper understanding of the chapter. So my explanation of the chapter will completely be based on the deeper description and portrayal of the chapter. So before I move forward, I request you to subscribe to my channel and turn on the icon notification so that you can get the notification of all further videos of mine, and please support me, and you can comment me in the comment section anything you want, anything new. Okay, so let's begin. Last lesson written by Alphonse Daudet. Alphonse, so actually what all the things we should study. Today not only going to teach you, explain you the first chapter, but also I'm going to tell you the right way of learning or reading a chapter. So when we read a chapter, what all the things we should go through? So we should go through the background of the writer and why it is important. Until unless we know the writer, his short biography, the time period he lived in, the literary movement he was writing, and his own experiences, the other influences upon him. So until unless we know them, the ideology of his or her. So basically, we have to know all these things to understand the chapter better. Actually, when a writer writes something, okay, so there are two type of writings are done, or the writings is actually based on two different aspects. First is objective based writing. Second is subjective based writing. So objective based writing is just based on the facts, the truth, which is universally accepted. On the other hand, when we talk about subjective based writing, it is thoroughly dependent upon the writer's own feeling, his own experiences, his reflection, his impressions. So that is what the subjective. Okay, so that's why we have to understand the writer's his own experience, the time he has gone through during his lifetime, the experiences, everything. Okay, so that you can have the better understanding, the context, the influences. That's why. Okay, so other than writing the studying about the writers, influences, writer's background, we have to go through the writers, the lessons, the chapter, the text, mood, that we can also call tone, theme, and genre. These three important aspects of the chapter are equally important to be discussed. Okay, and after that, I'll give you a short summary of the chapter, and I also actually give you the deeper description of a particular paragraph, which is very much often to be asked in examination. Okay, that's why. So I'll definitely, after completing all these things, I'll give you the deeper description, the hidden aspect of that chapter, and so many things. Okay, when I will be teaching you a chapter by reading one by word, one word by word. Okay. Before that, we have to understand the basic concept of the chapter, theme, synopsis, and all that. So let's begin. Who is Alphonse Daudet? Daudet is a renowned, is one of the most celebrated storyteller, novelist, okay, of French language from France. He was born in 1840 and he lived until 1895. So he was a writer who has actually written humorously. Okay, he uh, he actually has written he had written on the human sensitivity and sensibility. Okay, so actually he was a school teacher. He worked as a school teacher, so you can see the influence of the experiences that he had uh, during his job as a teacher. So you can actually see all the influences in his work. Even in this chapter, the last lesson, it is a story of a school teacher. Okay, it is also a story of a school teacher. So basically, that's why I say it is very important to understand the background of the writer, because whatever actually he is talking about in this chapter is based on his own experiences as a teacher. Okay, so he had since an experience of teacher and what actually he felt, okay, during his job, during his tenure as a teacher at that school, isn't it? So Alphonse Daudet, as I told you, is very famous, well-known, renowned, prominent writer, novelist. Okay, there are some important and there are some famous work you can actually go through. And there is I don't remember the name. That is, I think Tortoise series of essays, and there's a novel. So there are some famous work which are so much read in the community of France. Okay, so that much is enough actually. So as I told you, he was the writer, and he had a bad phase of poverty in his life. He suffered, and actually he equivalent himself to the lower class people of France, or the people who suffer from the economical, uh, economical limitations. Okay. So after reading about Alphonse Daudet, now let's talk about the mood and tone. So basically, when we go through the chapter is basically based on the event that took place in France. Okay, and its background is chapter's background is basically it was a time when there was a battle between France and Prussian army, and Prussian army actually occupied France's two important cities, Lorraine and Alsace. Clear? So once they were occupied by German forces, by Prussian forces, okay, they imposed their culture, their language, everything upon the people of those cities and those villages actually. And after that, the chapter actually based on the mental trauma that the teacher and other people go through after the imposition of German language and German culture and German rule. Okay, so as far as tone is concerned, it is basically a confessional tone. Confessional tone means throughout the chapter you will come to know that the writer actually is talking to himself, or he just like everything is based on experiences that he had. So the chapter is not social. It is basically the things which are going through into the writer himself, writer, speaker, and the teacher himself. Okay, so it's a confessional. Other than confessional, it is a meditative, because there is nothing, many incidents, many events taking place. Only a series of meditation actually is going through all the character, whether it's a French or Am Hamel, the teacher, and the villagers, and everyone else actually are in the state of meditation, state of pensiveness, state of deep contemplation. Okay, so they appear to be just doing a kind of thinking, a deeper thinking about something. So that's why we can say it's a meditative. It's a it's actually emotional. Chapter is basically the emotional roller coaster ride. So we can say its language is pathetic. Pathetic means full of emotions. So pathos have been employed. So many pathos have been employed in the chapter 2. After that, theme is based on the chauvinism. Now, what is the meaning of chauvinism? Chauvinism means over nationality or jingoism. Like basically chauvinism or fanaticism or dogmatism is a state when a writer, a particular country, particular individual, not only actually, keeps his beliefs, his nation and everything as superior, but also he imposes this upon others. This state is said to be chauvinism, Zingoism. Okay. So since in this chapter, Germans are imposing, since in this chapter, Germans are imposing their nationality, their culture, their language. So we go through the state of chauvinism. Okay, okay. So state of slavery is another thing. So once people become slave to other, how do they feel? Okay, the state of slavery. Then we have the impact of colonization. So once a particular country colonized the other, once a particular country like Britishers colonizes India, and under the colony, under the rule, how did India suffer? How did India go through different, persecution, atrocities? Similarly, the chapter is also an impact of colonization. Okay, it is also it is also actually based on procrastination. Procrastin. Procrastin attitude of human. Attitude of human. Procrast means टाल मटोल करना, means चीजों को कल के लिए टालना. That is also actually recounting the nature of procrasting, the attitude of procrasting of human being, and how this nature can cause the deeper suffering, a long life, or long lasting, a lifelong, actually, kind of remorse, regret. Okay, so these are some of the important themes. Now let's talk about genre. Now genre means presentation of anything, presentation of anything, a story. So there are different ways through which we can present a particular message. So here these are some important messages, and these messages are conveyed through this tone and in a in a form of uh, form of memoir, memoir or uh, testimonial. So basically, it is an impressionist form of literature in which the writer actually is recounting his memories, recollecting those days when France was made the colony of Britishers. Okay, and testimonial, since the writer had gone through all these experiences, so we can say that he had the testimony of actually having all these issues. So this is the basic idea I have given about the chapter today. So in the next video, I will actually give you the deeper description I'll give you a deeper description of the chapter. Okay, Peter? I'll give you the synopsis, the summary, everything. Okay, Peter? So I think it's enough for the day. Thank you very much.